All right, people. I guess this is technically my second private labeled product, which I don't have a huge interest in. I'm just interested in finding the best stuff, and the likelihood of me creating my own product line of a bunch of stuff that's great is virtually zero. And so I'm only doing it when I have to. And in this case, it makes sense. I've been using CarPro Pearl for a number of years. It's a great product. I didn't have any real complaints about it, other than it doesn't give quite as uniform of a finish as I'd like sometimes on certain tires. But generally speaking, it's great. It's a great product. I like it a lot, and I had no interest in this, but I was kind of forced into it. Let me explain. So one of the things I've been harping on and talking to a lot of companies about is, or I guess talking to you about, and then hopefully companies get the gist, is I get this all the time where companies send me, want to send me stuff. I've got like 3 or 4 of them in the cabinet here. And then they tend to badger me. They're on Instagram or Facebook or email saying, hey, we want you to try our stuff. We want you to try our stuff. We can make your own line of stuff. And I'm like I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in curating products and using the stuff that I like the most. And it does make me wake up in the middle of the night wondering what great products are out there that I'm not using. But you gotta build a process at some point in time. And so what you're getting with Obsessed Garage is any moment in time of what I'm using to wash my car, and then I'm just making that available to you in a very digestible way. So what I keep saying, I learned this lesson: don't take anything for free. And if somebody wants to send me something, I tell them, look, I can't promise you anything. I will call you if I happen to use it and love it. And so my friend Scott, who's been following OG for a long time, has participated. He's in the OG Core. He participates in the OG group quite a bit. He wasn't satisfied with the lack of uniformity of Pearl, even though he's been using it a lot like I have. And so he went out and he has some industry contacts and I guess found this stuff. And so he sent me a little baby bottle of it with a note that said, I'm not going to badger you, send me an email if this is something you like. I threw it up in here in this closet, in this cabinet that's full of a bunch of stuff that is on the list to maybe try out, and I wasn't going to try it. And so Bryce, who's a media lead, or runs media for me, runs all of these videos that we're making. He put it on the M3 when it was sitting over here before I put the shelving in, and he said, "You've really got to check this tire dressing out that Scott sent us." And I put it on one tire, and it looks amazing. And so I went and looked. I was like, "Holy crap, that looks fantastic!" And so then I put it on the other 3 wheels, and I also put it on the M5, and the rest is history. I think I called Scott that day and said, "All right, so what do I got to do to get this stuff? And what do you want?" And so we came up with the concept that it would make sense to launch the product under the Obsessed Garage name, rather than Scott create a company and me buy it from some company name. We'll just brand it as Obsessed Garage, and that's how we'll use it, or how we'll do it. And so here it is. This is a temporary bottle. I intend to put this in press-all bottles. The press-all bottles aren't quite ready for prime time yet, so this is just a Tolco bottle with Tolco chemical-resistant sprayers and a whatever this sort of F-style handle, this angled handle, gallon for those of you that are professionals that end up using a ton of this stuff. I suspect most of us probably won't need a gallon of this, but we're offering it in case you want it. But we're going to be putting it in these bottles with some temporary labels, so don't hold that against me. I think we did pretty decent for having these printed at a local sign shop up the street. So this is super. We're just kind of winging this here, but the product is good. So where this is coming from, I hope someday to get over there and show you how it's made. This is coming from B&B Blending, which I believe B&B was purchased by Adams about a year and a half ago, something like that. And I saw somewhere that Adams was purchased by some larger conglomerate. None of that really matters to me. I don't know how it's made. I don't care how it's made. I just care how it works. But I'm not going to lie to you and pretend like I mixed this up in the bathroom over here. That'd be bull crap. This is something that Scott found. Where this comes from, this is like, I think it's one of their house brands that they, or one of the, these blenders have huge recipe lists of products, and this one is on, I guess, in that list. I think Scott called and told the guys what he was looking for, and maybe someday I'll have him come here and tell you the whole story. But this was the product that the chemist there loved, and I think a lot of them use it on their own cars for whatever reason. None of their, because B&B makes products for hundreds of brands, and so we ended up, just, I don't know why this never made it anywhere, and so here it is. If chemical guys had it, or Adams had it, or if Griot's Garage had it, if somebody had it and this was it, I would just buy it and provide it as a solution. It doesn't exist. CarPro Pearl is the best tire dressing that I've ever found. And so this is a little bit better, and so here we go. That's the whole story. There's no secrets here. There's no bullcrap coming up with some fancy chemical solution. It's just good. And Scott chose the scent and the color, and we have it. So I've got a 330-gallon tote behind me. We're bottling it here because I just don't like any bottles that exist. This is really probably the best bottle that exists now from Tolco. It has dilution on the side, which we don't need. But this is actually a little different than the P&S bottles. It's about the cleanest bottle we have for now, until I make it happen where I put it in a $12 bottle and add that to the cost, and then people can choose to buy it in a gallon and put it in your own cheap bottle, or buy it in a fancy bottle coming at some point. So we have 8-ounce size, and I'm gonna go figure out what the cost of this after I shoot this video. So I gotta go figure out what we're gonna retail this for. I've got to build in a margin for Scott, build in a margin for me, and I've got to add up all the costs of the label and the bottle. We also did some bottling here, so I know what the labor cost is. So I'm gonna add it all up and figure out what the cost is. I know what I paid for the tote to get it here. I'll have an idea of what I'm paying the person to put it in a bottle and put a label on it, and then Scott and I are basically going to split the profits on it. And so because this is grassroots and we're not producing high volumes of this, it's probably going to be 30, 40 bucks. I don't know. I'll let you know. It'll be in the description. By the time you watch this, it'll be live for pre-order. We'll be shipping it out as we can get it out of the tote in a bottle, and so that's the whole story. There's nothing else. There's no secret backstory. There's no I'm making $1 million on this. If I sell this for 50 bucks, it's probably going to cost 20, and we're going to make 30 on it. That's kind of the way it goes in this game. I know most of you that are buying from me that have some sort of business or some sort of career, you understand how that game is played, and so that's the plan. So 8-ounce, 24-ounce, 32-ounce, gallon, and the way to put it on, you could put some sort of, you could put it in like a squeeze bottle of some sort if you wanted to. It is pretty liquidy. It's not as thick as Pearl. You don't dilute it. We haven't used it on the trim. This is we're using this exclusively for tires. I'm sure many of you will try it on different things. I don't use any kind of dressing on trim. I coat the trim. So I'm not interested in a trim product. I'm interested in the tire dressing. That's what this is. So the way that I put it on, we're going to show you here on the M3, is I spray it onto a Race Glaze XL brush. I put it around the tires, and then I wipe off the excess in 20 minutes or so. So that's the plan. All right, so let's get set up on the M3 here. I want to show you how this works, and that'll be the launch of Obsessed Garage Tire Dressing. I don't mean to downplay it. It really is pretty good. But I want you to know where this is coming from. I don't want to make this crap up. I'm sure there's be some dum-dums that still think there's some secret backstory behind this. There isn't. I'm telling you exactly how it is and where I got it from. And short of me telling you exactly what it costs, I'll probably tell you that too once I figure it out. So anyway, let's get the M3 set up and let's show you how to put it on. Okay, so here's how to do this. Now, one of the things that's very important with any kind of dressing, whether you're coating the paint, you're coating trim, you're dressing trim, you're dressing tires, is prep. I can't tell you how often it happens where I see a post or I get an email, or Kyle or Jeff gets an email saying, I followed what Matt does and I'm not getting the same results. And then we almost always uncover through questioning that, no, they didn't follow, they skipped step B and E instead of just following the directions. So the M3 tires have been dressed with this before, but it's been like a couple of months since I've washed the M3. So I just deconned it here today. I cleaned it with P&S tire, or I guess it would be a wheel cleaner, which I use on the tires. So there's still a little bit of funk on the tires here. They haven't really been maintained. And so prior to putting a dressing on, my suggestion would be to use something like Stoner's and a microfiber to get the tire prepped. You could also use mineral spirits if you don't have this laying around, but I just want to get a good base cleaning on the tires prior to dressing them. Otherwise, I'm telling you, it's not going to stick. And so in a perfect world, you take your wheels and tires outside and you would do a full washing with a tire brush, and get a good, get some good lather and agitation with something like P&S Brake Buster or Adams Wheel or Rubber and Tire Cleaner or Shine Supply Wise Guy or something like that to get all the soap and all that stuff from mounting off. These obviously don't have that because I did that first, when I first got them, and I've had them for a while. But you want to make sure that you've prepared the surface, otherwise you're going to be putting a post on the Facebook group saying, I don't know about this Obsessed Garage tire dressing, it sure doesn't work very well. I did all the steps that Matt said, except cleaning them. So I'm telling you, help me out here. Clean the tires first, then dress them, and you won't be sorry. And make sure you get the little jam area here between the wheel and the tire. Okay, so that's all I really need to do on this because, again, the tire was already pretty clean. I just needed to prep it because I haven't maintained these like I should. And that's one of the key requisites with this tire dressing. This is not like a paint coating where it's going to last 2 years. That's not what this is about. This is about the look. And you're going to have to work for that. That look doesn't come for free. One, you have to clean it, and then two, you're going to have to maintain it, and you're going to have to dress them regularly. You go out in a monsoon, it's going to wear off. But I found that if I drive around in the rain, if I wash my car once a week or maybe once every other week, and I clean them with Brake Buster and a Tough Shine brush, I don't have to do this. I won't have to ever use this again until I get a new set of tires if I maintain it. This one I'd gone months. And so you saw how simple that was, just a quick wipe down, just to kind of take off whatever residual dirt there was and prepare it. So I take a little, I would suggest you spray it away so you don't spray it all over the face of the wheel if you miss. But I put a little on the Tough Shine brush. It's pretty darn thick. And I'm telling you, Scott nailed the scent. Just wait. This is going to be your favorite, probably even more favorite scent over Eraser. Sorry, I'm trying to stay out of the way out of the camera here. And I'll probably do the tire in quarters, and you don't need to soak it on here, but you want to make sure you get even coverage. It'll look real streaky and thick, almost like you're putting, see, I sprayed it on the freaking tire, idiot, on the wheel. Don't do that. Spray it away from the wheel, Maddie. I'm trying to get in here without hitting the face of the wheel. If I can help it, it'll wipe off. But I found best performance if I let that sit for, certainly let it sit while I go all the way around the car. So I'm going to go all the way around and apply it like that. That's all I really need to do. Make sure you get even coverage on the whole thing. I kind of roll it up on the, on the top of the sidewall there. But once you come around, you dress all four. What I've been doing is I'll come, wipe the wheels, dress the tires, then go clean up all my door jams, dry those all up, spray bead maker in them. And then by then it's been about 20 minutes or so, then it's ready to wipe off. I actually had it, if you want it to be a little shinier, what you could do is I just let it sit like this all night, then come back and wipe the excess off and then put a second coat on, and it'll be quite a bit shinier. But the magic of this stuff, and this is, so B&B was telling us that the reason it does this, for whatever reason, they put some silicon dioxide in the, in the product. And so they put some ceramic in here. They put silicon dioxide in here, and it makes it blacker. It makes it look dark. It doesn't help it last any longer at all, but it makes it look darker and deeper. And that's what I want. I don't want shiny tires. I don't want sling. I don't want any bull crap. I just want it to look as uniform as possible. So think CarPro Pearl with more uniformity and a little bit darker. So it just makes the tires look like the tires have been cleaned and prepped and dressed, but not shellacked with some weird shiny crap. So I'm going to go around and do the same thing to all the other tires, and then we'll come back and wipe this off in about 20 minutes and show you what it looks like. All right, so the way that I use these towels generally is to do the wheel face with the fuzzy side and do the tire face with the not so fuzzy sides. It tends to work pretty well. But it's been sitting on here for, I don't know, 10, 20 minutes, 15 minutes, something like that. And so, the dressing is still there. You can feel it, feels kind of gummy or tacky. So you could put it, I've done it where I just put it on and wiped it right off. I just find that it tends to take a little bit better when you leave it on for a little while. And these are Michelin Pilot Sport 4s, PS4s. And it's really pretty simple. You just wipe it off. You can wipe it as flat as you want. I tend to not go super aggressive on my wipe, but enough to where I wipe to whatever finish I'm looking for, and that's it. You certainly won't get any sling. Sling, I've never had an issue with any tire dressing, but not since like the 90s. And so, we're clean. And so the key to this, I'm telling you, is the prep. What I do when I get new wheels or get new tires, take them, stick them in like a trash can, or so that's sitting up high or on a bucket or something like that, and do a really deep cleaning. Clean the face, clay bar them, get all the soap and all that residue off, and then use a tough shine brush and a tire cleaner like Brake Buster. Get them prepared, and then dry it off. Then use Stoner's Terminator. I feel like Terminator, for whatever reason, works well with setting me up for a tire dressing. I think it probably leaves a little something behind, but I found that tire dressings do well with it better than doing mineral spirits will really strip the tire. And so you just have to keep on it. You kind of have to condition them. And these tires are nice and conditioned, and so now that's the look I'm looking for. That's the look I'm hoping for. Let's call it that. And that's the dressing. And so from here on out, what I'll do is when I do my normal wheel cleaning routine or maintenance routine, I'm using a P&S Brake Buster, cleaning the surface. These wheels are coated, and so they should clean up pretty easily. Same thing with my calipers, are also coated. And then what I'm going to do, what I do after that is then I clean the tires. And so I foam the whole thing down with Brake Buster, and then I spray a little bit of straight up Brake Buster on the tire. I go and agitate it, and then I'll blow the wheels off, dry it, and then just do what I just did there. Just add some dressing. Again, go around, do all 4 tires, then clean up your door jams, come back, wipe the excess off, and you'll end up leaving this deep, dark, black finish. Do that. Shoot, if you can do it once a week, you'll never have to do anything else. It'll be perfect. So that's the Obsessed Garage tire dressing, available for, we're going to call it pre-order, mainly because we'll probably sell all of we've bottled a couple hundred already. We're doing this with a single machine, single person, and I just don't like having it bottled somewhere, at least not yet, until I figure out what bottle is going to be best to put it in. But we're going to call this a pre-order, temporary bottled, temporary labeled OG tire dressing solution. I just want to get it out in the world and make sure it's as good as I think it is. I sent a bottle to Pan, so Pan the organizer will have a bottle of it here probably before anybody else. Please share your thoughts. And those who want it, put an order in. Just know that it may take us a week or two to get it out to you. We'll see how long. I bet you we sell out of this tote and have to buy another couple real quickly. So anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. This is something I think the world needs. I think it's something that should exist. So I'm going to make it happen. So thanks for allowing me to stay crazy. Stay tuned for more of it. Yeah, catch you on the next one. Thanks again.